My name is Catherine McGilvray, and I am the Ring Program Coordinator. You've probably heard from me at least once or twice before, and certainly in the last week or so. So just to give you a little overview of what we're going to do today, I'm going to introduce you to our Ring teachers and staff. I'll tell you a little bit about the Ring program. Then we'll hear from our teachers and guidance counselors themselves. They'll go over what your student can expect from the course. Then we're going to briefly go over the dual enrollment opportunity we are offering through St. Vincent College. That is still an option if your student is interested. We will also introduce the Ring Student Organization. And finally, there will be time at the end for Q&A. You are also welcome to ask questions in the chat. I seem to be having problems with chat, but hopefully you aren't. So I wanted to provide a link or a list rather of links to the websites and various things you'll see throughout the slide deck, as well as email addresses. I have not been able to do that for some reason, but I'm going to keep trying while other people are talking. If not, this is being recorded. I will share that with you, and I will include those links when I send out the recording. So regardless, you don't have to like scurry and try to write everything down. I will be happy to provide all of that information for you. So we can go ahead and get started, Jesse, if you'll go to the next slide. So this is who we are. I've already introduced myself. I'm Catherine McGilvray. Our Ring teachers are Deb Gray, Amelia Adkins, and James Jones, and they are all with us today. Karen Brown is our guidance counselor, and Jesse Hairston is our program director. Next slide. So what is Ring? Ring stands for Regions Investing in the Next Generation. It is a foundational cybersecurity course that we have made available to all high school students in the U.S. And particularly, we're trying to reach those students who attend schools without an existing cybersecurity program. The reason we are able to offer this at no cost is because it is provided through grants by the NCAEC program office that's located in the National Security Agency, and as well as through partnerships with CAE institutions. And those are Centers of Academic Excellence in Cybersecurity, colleges and universities. They have also vetted the curriculum that we use in the course. Classes are online and asynchronous to accommodate student schedules. We have students all over the country who participate, so they're in different time zones. That's why it's asynchronous, and we'll go a little bit more into that later when our teachers go over what you can expect from the actual class. Next slide, please. So we started this program. We had our pilot course in 2021. Since then, 265 students nationwide have completed the course through our centrally taught program. And this map shows you where all of those students have been located. So you can see, I mean, coast to coast, Hawaii, Puerto Rico. We're really proud of how many different areas we've been able to reach students in. Next slide, please. Okay, so I'm going to turn over the next few slides to our Ring teachers, and they're going to go over what you can expect from the class. Amelia, I think this is you, correct?
This is me. Thanks, Catherine.
No problem.
Hi, everyone. I'm Amelia Adkins. I'm one of the Ring instructors. Alongside James and Deb, I'm going to go over the basic course structure, what that looks like as far as assignments rolling out, due dates, and then also the content and how it's segmented throughout the year. So, in the most basic sense, our course is arranged around a weekly structure. And so that looks like opening the assignments on a Sunday and then having them due on a Saturday. We are, as Catherine said, online and asynchronous. So we don't have work that's due Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but instead it's kind of laid out for the entire week, and students can log on and complete it whenever the time works for them, whenever they can. The weekend kind of structure of making it available on a Sunday and then due on a Saturday isn't oriented towards students working on the weekend, but just to give them a little bit of flexibility and extra room around the weekdays, because we know they're also balancing other schoolwork. Even though the work is due on a Saturday or at the end of the week, they don't necessarily get cut completely and the access is lost. They will still be there for a little bit, and the timing depends on the teacher and how long they have theirs open. But of course, it's expected, and we would love it if students know ahead of time if they're when they're going to turn stuff in late, they communicate that. But they'll still be able to access it even when the due date passes. And then generally, on a day-to-day basis, students are working on things like activities, graphic organizers, discussion posts, maybe some viewing guides, more of that day-to-day work. But then we have summative assessments in the forms of projects, labs, tests, exams, other things like that, approximately every 10 instructional days, which is 2 weeks. So that's kind of what our day to day looks like. But on the next slide, I will talk about what the content looks like and how it's arranged. So we have 10 set topics and modules in Ring, and you can kind of see how those are laid out here. 8 of these we get directly from the Cybersecurity Curriculum Guidelines that the National Cryptologic Foundation pushes out in their standards. And we have 2 of these that are supplemental, and that's our introduction, and then kind of halfway through our Unit 5 introduction to Python programming. But you can kind of see this flow of an introduction, why cyber is important, what you can do with it, how you can get into it, then going through the ethics of it, how to set yourself up for trust and secure all of your different avenues and services as well as you can. Then we get into networking, how to secure your data, how to get started with Python, and we use that one because it seems to be pretty user friendly. And then system security, adversarial or bad actor thinking, what they're after, kind of how they move, and how we can adapt in response. And then risks and implications to kind of round it out. But depending on the class, there might be some other supplemental information sprinkled in or just available if your student wants to explore on their own time and learn some more. But this is what our Ring course looks like at its core. And I am going to wrap up on this slide and hand it over to James. But thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Amelia. Since we will be doing this in a virtual environment, there are challenges, well, unique to that environment that just come with it. You know, we, like Catherine showed, we teach students from all across the country, so we're dealing with different time zones, different schedules, different extracurricular activities, responsibilities, needs, and learning styles, and we want to make this course, we want to be able to adapt it to each student's needs. You know, we want them to be successful. So we can always adapt to doing things like lightening the workload or having flexible due dates or any number of things if we know there's a need, which is why it's going to be really important to get that frequent student input and feedback so we can know what they're needing to make them as successful as possible. So let's go to that next slide. Here's kind of how the grade's going to break down. Here's a little example here. And in the dual enrollment course, which Dale will talk about in just a minute, it'll be different. And it could be slightly different depending on your individual instructor, but they'll go over that with you. But they look basically the same. You have, again, like Amelia said, you have your formative assessments and your summative assessments. Formative being the daily work and graphic organizers and things, and then a summative like labs, projects, and exams. If a student misses an assignment, and we grade it as a 40%, we try not to hit them with zeros again, just because of all the different schedules and responsibilities. Something's going to happen over the course of a year. We're going to miss an assignment. A zero is kind of a tough one to take. So until they get it turned in, it'll be a 40%. Once they get it turned in, it can be adjusted from there. Now, your formative assessments, they'll be graded and given back to the students. And if they want to improve that grade, they can take note of the feedback that we give them and they can resubmit it another time. In other words, they get basically 2 submissions on all those assignments to try to improve their grade. And we can improve it as long as they, you know, demonstrate an understanding of the feedback that we give them. As far as summative assessments like tests, if they take one of those and they don't make what they wanted to, if they make below an 80, then they can have one retake. They can retake it again. It'll be a different assessment, but it'll be the same material either way. All right, next slide. And this is probably the most important thing from my point of view is the communication. Since we are in that virtual environment, it's going to be very, very important to communicate both ways. If a student's having problems, they need to reach out to us. If they've got a question, reach out to us. If they need support, they can reach out to us. And we communicate mostly through email. They can reach us through Canvas, which would be our learning management system. It's where the class will be. In addition to that, we do have opportunities for the students to attend virtual office hours. Each of us holds virtual office hours. It may be a little different from one person to the other, but we have those. As far as contacting with parents, you guys, if we need to do that, we'll do that with email. We're here for your students. Like I said, we want them to be successful. We want to be able to support them. So if we notice something not so good or something good, you may hear from us about them. Any concerns or problems or just attaboy and attagirls that we may have. So, but again, communication is going to be very important. If you have something that you feel like we need to know, then please reach out to us so we know we can all be on the same page and we can all be successful together. Right? I think we're going to Karen next.
So it looks like Karen wasn't able to join us. I will briefly go over this. And I figured out what was wrong with my chat message. Apparently it was too long. So just to reiterate, I did include links to contact information and various things that are included here, including there's a calendar schedule for our guidance counselor here that is in the chat as well. So Karen Brown is our guidance counselor. And she is available to all students and parents. Some of the services she provides are academic advisement. She can talk to students about career interests, college planning, personal and social development, and most importantly, if your student is interested in having ring count for credit at their high school, she will work with them and your school to make sure that they have the information they need to justify whether or not they will count it for credit. So that's a big one. And her contact information is here. If that's something you're interested in pursuing, please definitely feel free to reach out to her and she can get that ball rolling, because we know, there's basically trying to take the onus off of you having to gather everything and all of the information. She can work directly with your school. I think we can go to the next slide. Okay, so Deb, this is you.
Yeah, welcome everybody. Even if you aren't signed up in dual enrollment, you could consider it. We offered it last year as our inaugural year, and we had great success with it. A lot of what we've talked about already in terms of how the course is run, assignments, weights, descriptions, those are all the same. The main difference here is that there is a midterm and a final. So a midterm happens at the end of our fall semester, and we'll cover all the material we did throughout the fall semester. Spring semester, we'll have a final at the end of that, and it'll cover everything that we covered in spring semester only. So it's a good review of everything we've done. And so to pass and get the college credit for the course with St. Vincent College, we're doing it in partnership with them. You need to complete the ring course with a passing grade of 70% or higher, and both these things have to be true. It's a logical and, as you know, if you're taking some computer science classes, you have to also pass both the midterm and the final with a combined average of 70 or over. Now, I am really, I work closely with the students and then pull in their parents as needed. I know that it gets really tough during the school year, especially if you're taking AP classes or busy with outside activities. So it's really important to keep track in this online environment every week of how you're doing, what needs to get done by the end of the week, and we'll work with you if you get behind. I just want to say that. And I'll go ahead and copy your parents. If they want to be involved more or less, they can also reach out to me, okay, and we can work together. But it went really well last year, and if you've got any questions or interested in that, please reach out to me. And there'd be two people you need to contact and follow up, which would be Ms. McGilvery, which is right here, Catherine, and she's got her link there for talking about dual enrollment. I'm the teacher. If you have any questions about dual enrollment at all, about how the grading's done, anything, and then there's the contact at the college where you'd coordinate and sign up at St. Vincent. That's about all I got on that slide. So here's just a little bit of follow-up on how to do this. Complete the college and high school enrollment form that St. Vincent College is going to send you in the chat. You're going to select fall 2025 as your term, select Ring-USA as your participating high school, and check the box next to CS 125 course. You submit your form, you'll get an email with a link to make the tuition payment. It's $295 tuition fee for the entire course, for the year's course, and that's due by September 1. So anyway, I'm looking forward to working with you all if you're already signed up for dual enrollment or thinking about it. And I'll also be teaching, I think, the one semester's fall class. I think that's all I have.
I just want to jump in real fast and say that we do still have spots for the dual enrollment class available if your student is interested. Just email me and I will switch them into that option.
Awesome. Thanks, Catherine and Deb. So yeah, just to really emphasize, the dual credit course is completely optional. That one is paid, but if you're registered just for the standard Ring course, it is completely free. There is no cost for it. It's all grant provided. And I just wanted to hop in here and tell you about our Ring student organization opportunity that we offer. So any student in a Ring course, not just in the courses that we teach directly, but also courses that educators all across the nation might be taking or might be offering, is available to join our Ring student organization. There's a few benefits to joining the org. First of all, kind of the obvious benefit for us is all of our students are virtual, they're asynchronous. We wanted to create some kind of linking opportunity for them to network with each other and to learn about cybersecurity careers. So one option is we do have a secure Discord server that's in partnership with our friends over at the 502 Project that students can join and be able to chat with other students in the Ring program. We also do a monthly guest speaker series where we bring in cybersecurity professionals working in various industries who come in and speak with our students about their career, their day-to-day job, and that really helps students tie in what they're learning inside the Ring course with actual careers that they can attain upon graduation. We also have a cybersecurity capture the flag competition that we host every so often. We do have an annual hosting of the program. And then occasionally we do smaller pilot programs of it. And then finally, what I think is probably the most important is it's really a great way for the learner to discover different types of internships that are offered all over the nation. We do monthly newsletters. We really highlight those. We also talk about different cybersecurity scholarships that students can participate in. And other opportunities, things like Gen Cyber camps, we make sure to post about those and share those with the students. So really, it's for the student that really wants to get engaged even further in cybersecurity and maybe start to learn about some of those cyber careers and help explore whether that's something they might be interested in. And that's our student organization. And we'll have a link to get signed up for that on the homepage of Canvas. And we'll be sharing out more information about that as well. So with that, I'll let Catherine kind of summarize the different ways that we can support your students.
Yes, so obviously we have a lot that we offer, and we hope you're impressed by that, but there are also ways that you can help out if you're interested. First of all, as Jesse mentioned, the student org regularly hosts guest speakers. If you know someone who you think would be a good fit to talk to our students, please direct them to our guest speaker form. Again, I shared that link in the chat, and I will also email it when I send out the recording of this meeting. So that's one way. Recruiting students. If your student has a good experience, please tell another student. We do get a lot of word of mouth. That's how people hear about our program. We are still enrolling right now. We are currently still taking students for the full year course. Excuse me. We also have single semester course options, so we're signing people up for a single semester fall course, which is a little bit more fast-paced, as well as a spring 2026 course that is also going to be a little bit more fast-paced. And down the line, we will have a summer session available as well. So if you know a student who might be interested, please direct them to our enrollment form. There's still time to join the 2025-2026 class as well as the fall 2025 class. And finally, we don't talk about this a lot here because we're focusing on the student side of things, but the Ring curriculum is free and available to teachers throughout the country. And they can be high school, middle school, college level. But if you know an educator who might be interested in accessing the curriculum, they can fill out our educator request form and I will grant them access to the curriculum, which they can then export. They're free to use as much or as little of it as they want. And like I said, I mean, we've had teachers scale it up to the college level, and we've had them scale it down to like say a middle school level. And then of course it is pretty much ready to go for the high school level. So again, if you know somebody who's interested, please send them our way. And we can go to the next slide. These are links to both of those forms I just mentioned, the student enrollment form and the educator curriculum request form. You can scan those. I've also provided links in the chat, and I will email those to you as well. And they're on our Ring website. Next slide. Again, contact information if you want to take a picture of this, but I will also provide it for you. This is how you can reach our teachers and staff. And I'll pause a minute to let you get that information if you'd like. On. Next slide. Okay, so that was it. We tried to keep it short. Like I said, we know you're all very busy and we appreciate you taking the time to meet with us today. If you have questions, we are here to answer them. You're welcome to unmute yourself and ask, or you can type them into the chat, whichever you feel more comfortable with.